Hey, Brennan here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Have another 2024 rookie report here for you. We're going to talk Mr. Jalen Polk. I'll be joined by my podcast co-host Jason DiRienzo. The two of us, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Polk. He's actually one of my favorite, mid to later round rookie picks in this draft, okay, in our rookie drafts. So we're going to talk about his scouting report, his PFF grades. We're going to go over his player comps and his draft capital, his projected, rookie pick and all that good stuff, man. So you play Dynasty, you play Fantasy, you're looking for a YouTube channel out there to help you scout just not this year's class, but the future classes very shortly after the draft. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the show. All right, let's continue our discussions with these rookie reports and talk about Jalen Polk, wide receiver, 6'1", 203-pound senior. Again, I cut up guys, just the all 22 films on Texas, Oregon, and Michigan. We watched those games. I shared them with you, Jason. Um,
Mhm.
you know, guy, he was eligible for one more year. I'm not going to lie. I was a little surprised he did come out, but his career statistics here, 126 receptions, 1,900 yards, 17 TDs, averaging 15.6 yards a catch. Versatile player, played in the slot as well, out wide at 70%. Receptions through his career, 64%, and had 8 drops throughout his career, which is pretty low too. Now his PFF grades across the board, they're okay. They're not great. They're all looks like at the 75th percentile. And this guy is not going to be one of the top receivers in this draft, but he'll be a depth, I think, receiver. And we'll talk about his draft capital here shortly. Receiving grade 76, the contested catch only 52.6, just under 75th percentile. Grade versus man coverage 72. That's also at the 75th percentile. Yards after the catch tied 324th at 4.5. It's not where he's going to bring a lot to the table, I think, with as a yak guy in the NFL. It's not going to be how he's going to win. 12 deep catches, tied for 23rd, and deep yards, 461, tied for 26. I mean, I thought he had some vertical ability. I think Jalen Polk is one of these players that can win vertical. But man, I'll tell you, like we talked about a little bit earlier, I mean, the way they scheme these guys open, crisscrossing across the field and the misdirection, Jalen Polk, watching those films, rarely found himself on a one-on-one press situation. I mean, Rome did a little bit, but even McMillan didn't either, which is just like,
McMillan's a pure slot. We'll get into that, but
yeah.
yeah. It was
Um,
it was d definitely tough, I agree with you. I mean, a couple of times, I mean, I think with the film cut up that you had, like, the first play was him on, in a man covered situation, so that was nice, and then that dissipated pretty quickly as the
yeah,
film went on. So
yeah.
he was definitely a tough read, and that's where I had to get down to the mechanics of who
Mhm.
Jalen Polk is.
Yeah, so I think, I'll start off the scouting report on him. I like Jalen Polk as, we're going to get into a later, obviously, where he's going to be in his rookie pick, but he's outside my top 10 total, but he's going to be one of these receivers that could
Mhm,
possibly pop. But I think he's going to be really dependent on his landing spot and opportunity. But there, me and physicality. This guy brings some physicality to the table.
oh,
There's
he
no doubt
does. Yep.
about it. He's got good ball skills, really sticky hands. Really able to go up and get the ball, physical at the catch point, large catch radius. But the ball skills and hands are there. Little concerned about his separation and route running skills. I think that's what most people are concerned about. What are your thoughts on his scouting report?
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you're saying. I mean, the physicality just really stands out immediately. I mean, even when he's facing, a defender, I actually like the manipulation a little bit because I think he executes like very good manipulative measures within his body mechanics. So he'll fake inside to get outside. He has a really nice spin move. He'll leverage the ability of understanding how to navigate himself through the seam, kind of rounding himself through zone coverage a little bit, even though I don't think he's that great against zone coverage because I do think he's lacking that top end speed and burst to kind of get through where I feel better about if he was a little bit more explosive and he had better speed, I feel better about him translating to the next level like that.
Mhm.
But to me, it's just the hands, like, you see he's a bit of a contortionist. He understands the trajectory of the ball, so his hands are framing to the ball, mid-air or even at difficult angles to secure the catch. So I do like that part of it. I just don't know if he's gonna be able to beat NFL defenders at the line of scrimmage. I don't think he has the speed to really initiate and stack defenders unless he executes a good, solid release move. And I am concerned that he's just basically that one-dimensional type player as a possession receiver more than anything else, who can get downfield if he executes the release properly.
Yeah, and like I said, I was really frustrated watching some of these because I mean he'd get these wide receiver screens, and it would be the two wide receiver formation where the one would go deep, the other one would cut in or out, and it would be kind of the same play over and
Yeah.
over. And I was like just really looking to get some plays where he was one on one with somebody and really had to make a move and stuff. And it just the whole Washington offense, like we had talked about earlier, it's just all these guys were schemed open except for Rome. He was the only one that really faced one on one. The rest of these guys are all in motion consistently. So it's just so hard to see. I know that's the way the NFL is going as well. So maybe that's
Mhm.
that's kind of it is, but it's really hard, But I don't disagree with what you said. I don't think he's going to be that guy who's going to take the top off the defense. He's going to need. I think he could possibly be a wide receiver 3 on a team. And be that just solid, possession receiver and have two boundary guys and a fast guy, a big, other guy like Rome Odunze. And then I think he would fit really nicely as that third receiver who just works the, inside, in between the numbers going across the field, just being that good physical, moving the chains kind of player. We'll get into comps here shortly, but his NFL draft, I have him as an early day 3 guy with a fourth and fifth pick. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have him between honestly, like 5th and 7th, somewhere in there.
Okay. All right.
Probably more toward the later 5th, early 6th round.
Okay. And that means for Superflex rookie drafts, are you thinking third round, or is he a fourth round guy?
No, I think that's gonna be, landing spot dependent, but probably back
Mhm.
into the 3rd based on what he can deliver. And real quick, I wanna add this too. Did you see this? When he gets a screen, I did like he almost has running back vision a little bit. He
Mhm.
allows the blockers to set up, and he can kind of maneuver and navigate himself between those blocks, so that was good to see. So he could be a versatile weapon on those bubble screens. He just doesn't have that speed, but I like the vision, the field vision that he had to kinda get through those tackles. So it really just depends on scheme and where he lands. I think that'll depend on the value of rookie drafts.
Yeah, and I think a team's gonna have to know how to use him and draft him for a
Exactly.
specific
Yep.
role. And like, I don't get hung up on speed with wide receivers. I mean, that's really nice, but to me, it's about Cooper Cup always said that, and I completely agree. It's about short area quickness and using your manipulation to create space. Some people use the
Mhm.
physicality. So I mean, just because he ran a decent 40, I think he was 4.51 or
Yeah, it
something like
wasn't
that.
bad.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't so given his size and frame, it wasn't like a detriment to
Oh,
his
no, not at all.
to score. So, all right,
Yep.
value comp. I got him. Dontavian Wicks is a player that I kind of see as a thicker, physical guy. Hey, listen, man, he's drafted in Green Bay right now, and there's some people out there saying that Wicks could possibly be in a year or two the best receiver on that team, which is
I keep
interesting after
hearing that too.
Watson and Reed. So he kind of emerged last year, and it took a year for him to kind of just be on, in the background. I see a similar role, a similar play style with Wicks. I liked Wicks, but he wasn't a guy that you know, I was thinking it was going to be a third or fourth round, potential steal, but the landing spot was great. He's got opportunity, and I think Jalen Polk is going to need that as well. So I got Wicks as my comp. Who was your player comp?
Yeah, I can see Wicks. I have Josh Doxson. The reason I bring him, and I know I keep
Hmm.
going back a little bit of ways, but they're very. I remember these guys so vividly because I like Josh Doxson coming out of TCU. He was one of the more dynamic receivers that I liked in that particular draft class, and I see very much similarities with how Polk plays and how Josh Doxson plays. Again, it doesn't mean that the path of what happened with Josh Doxson is going to happen because each individual player has their own individual work ethic and everything else. But who Josh Doxson was coming out of TCU going into the NFL, I see very similar to Jalen Polk.
All right. Well, we'll have to see. Hopefully, Jalen Polk gets the draft capital, and gets in an opportunity to get on the field. So most likely, he's going to be a wide receiver who's going to be a depth piece, who's going to have to work his way, I think, on the field. So there is
Agreed.
our
Yep.
rookie report on Mr. Jalen Polk.